Hi, guys. We're all back on Zoom now. I got on this high of last week of like, great, I get to see people. Now we're back. How's everybody doing? Good. How many of you guys
Awesome.
were at the retreat? Just by like a show of hands. I mean, I know obviously a few of you guys. All right, good. Yeah, I knew all you guys. You guys are the easy ones. I saw you. All right, let's see. I'll give everybody like a few more minutes to kind of hop on. So today I wanted to go through, I kind of wanted to elaborate a little bit more off of what Chirag was talking about in his Monday session. So this buyer experience, like kind of like the customer experience scorecard, whatever it is, but it's really just buyer experiences in general. And then we'll obviously jump over to sellers in a few weeks or next week, whenever he's doing it. But this is a question that I feel like I get all the time because I think people will practice this and then they think it's perfect and it never needs to be practiced or touched again. And I think this is something that needs to always be evolving. So this is something that I even feel like I go through or like just will role play either like with my mom, with a colleague, with Chirag, with somebody, because these conversations are just changing. And I'm sure you guys feel the same way, like weekend after weekend, it's a completely different narrative. It's kind of all following in the same, but I really need to tweak it. So, and I feel like it also like the mindset of my buyers is changing weekend after weekend. Either people are feeling more and more discouraged, so I need to like add a little bit more and more fluff to it, be a little bit more sensitive. So I think this is a good thing to be going through today. We'll go through it. But I wanted to ask you guys, I mean, have you guys started doing this? Do you guys feel like your buyer experiences feel really good? Do you feel like it's like on the top of your head, you have a very repeatable system? And feel free to unmute yourself or just share.
After listening to Chirag over the last 2 days, I know I have to streamline my system.
Okay. Yeah. Anybody else feel same way? I have a pretty good system. I'm a coach and I still am like, all right, we're not doing that again. Let's fix that up. But no, I think sometimes the biggest piece of advice I can give that I did not used to do and now I've been doing for like the last year is I would want to stick to it so bad, but like something would come up, like a buyer, a really great buyer. Like this weekend is a perfect example. I got this great referral, like 1.5 million to 2 million. And I wanted to get on top of it so bad, but I was out showing myself at that time. So I'm like, I could email this person now and go off of my normal experience to make sure that like they know I'm on top of it, or I can wait the 2 hours or 3 hours and do things the right way. So like, does anybody else ever feel like that? Like, well, it would be great to stick to this, but it's not really convenient to stick to it. The biggest thing I can say is like, stick to it. Your buyers or your clients on whichever side it is are going to be, they don't know the difference. They don't know that we respond within 15 minutes normally or 30 minutes, whatever it is. They're just expecting a response. And we do the same exact thing whenever we call up a doctor's office or anything like that. So I think we kind of put that expectation, that pressure on ourselves, when in reality, they've gone off and done their own thing. And sure enough, with that buyer, like did the exact same thing, sent my initial email to set up to fill out my questionnaire. Then he set up an hour meeting with me. We met the next morning. And then I rush, make this awesome collection. I'm like, he's going to want to go out like today. This is going to be great. The guy responded to me at like 9:30 at night and we met at 9 in the morning. And he's like, hey, Kate, love to meet tomorrow at 3 p.m. I'm like, okay, great. Well, I know what I'm doing on my Saturday night now, but you know, like he didn't really have that respect for me back, which is fine. Like I'm not offended by that, but why would I have jumped through hoops, right the day before to get everything squared away for him? Much easier. He stuck to my system and now he's in it like that 4 seasons, whatever hotel you guys like. He's in it like that same experience, like the 4 seasons wouldn't drop off what they're doing and be like, all right, I'm just going to check you in like the bathroom back here because that's more convenient right now because that's where I am. Like, no, they're going to say, we have a system. He's going to get your bags. You're going to go to the front desk. It's all going to be the same thing. So that's like my biggest piece of advice I can say with that. So do you guys want to like go through it together? Have you started doing your buyer experience scorecard? I don't know if it was sent to you guys or not. Okay, who's ever on from CSC, can you guys make me so I can share my screen? I think I'm disabled. Thank you. Okay, so You guys can see my screen, I'm assuming right here. So this is the scorecard. So you basically will go through this and you're going to rate yourself 1 out of 10. And don't ever give you a 10 because there's nothing that's a 10. And I would say like the first, so you'll go through, you'll score yourself on all of this. But I think just as Chirag was saying, that first like buyer consultation is going to set the stage for the rest of it. So if there's anything in there that's like a 1 to 5, I wouldn't even worry so much about what you're scoring yourself on the end, because if you're scoring those as being great and the beginning wasn't, that's not true. So I would say focus on getting like this buyer consultation down. It's not just the buyer consultation, but what surrounds it, what emails are you sending, make sure your email templates are saved, and really start to practice this. And I say all the time, like pick one of each other, pick a colleague, pick a friend, pick, like I would do this with my fiance when I was trying to get up like my process. Like I literally have a text to him checking my questionnaire because I'd sent it to so many people. I think someone maybe had gotten into it and I was like, oh, is the link still working? Whatever. And I sent it to him and he like fills it all out. And I like practiced my whole consultation with him. Even having done this hundreds of times this exact way, I still want to make sure it's perfect. So always check that all like the links are working, all that kind of stuff. So that would be the first thing I'd say is go through buyer consultation. Do I have a good intro email for sending intro questionnaire? I do. Let me see what I had sent. My good friend Kushal, who's my new buyer. Let me see. I'll put all these email templates kind of just like in a, does anybody know if I make an email template and I save it in Compass, can I share that with people? I don't know if you guys know or not, but I'll check if I can do it that way. If not, I'll just have to like put them on a Google Doc like I've done before and then just copy and paste them. But basically what I would say to him is it was so nice, talking to you. Either he had texted me. So like, it was so nice chatting with you. At your earliest convenience, please fill out the buyer questionnaire. We'll be reviewing this on the call together. If you get stuck on it, no worries, we'll fill it out. Can't wait to, looking forward to meeting looking forward to meeting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Google Calendar invite gets sent out to him with the Zoom information in there, or if we're just doing a call, just put in the cell phone number in like my notes so I can remember, call him. And then I have it already in like that Google form that you guys all should have now. And we go through it together for like 30 minutes to an hour. Yes, I can copy and paste it into this chat, but then the chat's going to go away. So I feel like I'll put it on just like a Google Doc for you guys. I think I had actually sent it to Mark, one of my clients. Let me go see. Yes, okay. I'm going to stop sharing this. I'm going to share this with you guys. Okay, you guys can see this right here, right? So I'd send this to one of my coaching clients. So this is an email template for like the initial Zoom setup. So this is like, these are real emails, by the way, that I've sent. So hi, Stephanie. Thank you so much for reaching out. Hope you're enjoying your time in Europe. Rachel and Halil are some of my most favorite clients. I so appreciate them referring me. I would love to help you and your husband find a new home here in Westchester. Would you like to set up a time for a Zoom or phone call next Wednesday or Thursday to discuss further? She responded, I think it was whatever it was, whenever we met. And then I said, hi, looking forward to our call today at whatever time. Here's the link to our buyer questionnaire. If you have a few minutes before our call, please feel free to fill out some of it, or we can do it together on the call if you prefer. Link the Google form. If you have any questions, just let me know. Follow up to that after the meeting that we've already had. Hi, it was great meeting with you. As discussed, I'll be setting you up in a collection via Compass. Think of a collection as a luxury shopping cart of homes. We'll be able to collaborate here and keep all of our communication in one place. All you have to do is accept the invitation when it comes through and you'll be automatically added into the collection. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. And then when I go and do my client portal in my Google folder for them, which comes right after the collection, hi, I want to add you into your client portal. Here you have access to all of your documents for the transaction and our team resources. If there are any other parties you would like me to grant access to, just let me know. Attorneys, lenders, title companies, etc. If you have any questions, let me know. So those are the exact emails that I send to people, and it's the same every single time. Hi, Greta. Is that helpful? Okay, cool. And then like change them up, like whatever feels best for you. Greta's really trying to be a part of the party, guys, right now. Ross, is Ross still on here? Yes, she loves her Colorado pillow. Ross over here sent her this little Colorado pillow and she loves it. Now she has her own pillow that she can tear to shreds, not mine anymore. Yes, I will share all of these templates. What do I include in the portal? Have I ever showed you guys my buyer portal? I thought I have, right? I haven't? Oh my gosh. Was I gatekeeping? Guys, this is so unlike me. All right, let me pull that up. Okay. I'll give you guys all of this. I mean, the Google folders I can't really give you, but you can at least have a feeling of like how they're set up. Let me just move you guys over there. Okay. So I have our shared drive. I have this big clients folder. I separate everybody by past, archived, and active. Here I just keep like the people who, I mean, some of them bought, but not most of them didn't. I probably need to clean it up a little bit, but most of them didn't end up buying. They're just kind of like on the back burner. So active clients is obviously the one I go into the most. So I have active sellers and active buyers. I'll go into the buyer portal for the sake of right now. You'll see that some of them have my clients in it. Some of my clients choose to be in it. Some of them don't want to be in it, in like the whole entire thing. So these are my active buyers I have right now that are in contract on something. So I'll go into, I'll keep doing, this is like Stephanie. So like now you guys are seeing it from start to finish, that original email. So I have her two pre-approvals in here. I have our vendor list. So like they just always have access to all of this. I have our buyer guide. Okay, closing costs. Our buyer's guide right here. And then I also, for this one, because it was like, we had to go really competitive on this one. I just had put in this winning buyer toolbox. If you guys have been with me for a while, you probably remember this. So I keep this in here because they're super new. Like we saw this house on the first day I ever met them and made an offer at the kitchen table within the first 30 minutes. And we were in contract 2 days later. So I didn't have as much time to like do my whole hand-holding process. So I just put everything in here and that's how we made our offer essentially. And then once they are in contract on a house, I will label it the address. For me, like in here, I just put in like all of her wire confirmations. I put in a copy of her offer. So I have everything in here. And then the memo, fully executed contract of sale, everything like that. And then I also like to add in just like a CMA of the property. So like if they're ever feeling like they just want to have an idea of like the value of their house, this appraised no problem, but just good for them to know. So I'll put a copy of that in there. And then as things come in, like if like I could put like their inspection in here, I could put anything, like anything that kind of applies to you guys that would apply to your markets, I recommend putting in here. And then you'll see I have Stephanie right in here. And she goes in this a lot, I know for a fact. So what that's given me back is my life and time, because now instead of always needing to say like, hey, can I have a copy of the contract? The attorney needs to I know this is like nuanced to Westchester. It's like really like it's in the portal and I like train them. I think it's because I've been so used to training Greta, even though that's not very successful. And I'm like, hey, if she can do it, I think I can get 35 or 40-year-olds to use a Google Drive. And it really does empower them. And then like they can stay in it for forever if they ever need copies of stuff, because I'm super OCD, but and some of my clients meet me, like Stephanie will meet me on that level, but then other clients are like, you know, all over the place. And then their lender's yelling at me, they haven't gotten them stuff. So like I have this one buyer right now, for instance, Bob has not, we've had 3 extensions on the commitment. He has not gotten, now we just got the commitment, but he took about 2 months to get any kind of bank statements, anything to his lender. Super disorganized person. I love him to death, but I'm like, Bob, you got like, let me help you. So we did the same thing. I made subfolders for everything the lender needed and like put it all in there and then added the lender into that. So I could kind of like slowly extract the information from him and organize it for him. So you can use these in a ton of different ways. Let me see. Yes, Diane, I do link this all to Business Tracker. So if you guys have Business Tracker, where like the new one, like the end-to-end system, you can link your Google folders and then everything's already in there. So it does also make compliance much easier at the end. The only thing is that I've now started to get all my disclosures signed in through Business Tracker because they have like I think it's like .loop for some, DocuSign for others. So I'll just have them sign it right in there and then it goes into the compliance, but everything else gets held in that. Do they have long-term access to it? Yes, I never remove their access. And okay, your buyer portal is a shared Google. Yes. So my buyer portal is just a Google Drive folder. Leslie, let me see your question. So you send the buyer questionnaire before you do the consult, and on the consult, do you focus just on this? What about the buying process? Yeah. So I used to feel like when I would get on the phone with these people, I would I think at like the beginning, I would get a little bit nervous, to be honest, like, especially when I was younger. So I was just kind of like, I would freeze up a little bit. I'm like, all right. And then I'd get off the phone. I'm like, did I even ask them what their budget was? Like, how am I making this collection? So I realized like I would just start to freeze up. Now I'm fine with people, but really at the beginning, I'll be super honest, I was just nervous. So I came up with this system. So I'm like, okay, kind of like cheat notes, you know, like look down, okay, make sure you're getting all the questions. And for me, like the biggest thing was that at the bottom of my questionnaire, which you guys all have now, it had like asking them about the pre-approval. So I didn't have to ask. I used to have so much anxiety about asking somebody for that because I felt like it was a huge turnoff. So now it like that asked it for them. So I just used it as a guide, but of course, like, I mean, sometimes I'll sit on the phone with these people for like an hour. So I ask them, do you have any questions about the buying process? I mean, I'll ask them all the normal questions, but to be honest, I think that if you use, like I have it, there's a very specific order to like the questions that are in my questionnaire. So for me, I find that a lot of the questions that they would have get prompted by a lot of these questions. So it kind of opens up the dialogue instead of, you know, I don't know, them needing to ask a ton of stuff. And then I also let them know that they're going to be getting my buyer's guide. So if they have any questions specific to like the process, you can of course always ask me, but here's an overview so you know what you're in for, kind of. Is this a shared Compass Google Drive or a shared private non-Compass Google Drive? I think it might be Compass because I'm using like my Compass email, but I've never ran into any issues with that. So like, no one's ever, I think it just says when you share it with somebody without an email, you know how sometimes they'll say like you're sharing outside your organization and then you have to click OK. That's what I do. And everybody's able to get in. I usually keep my commission invoice in my client folders. Okay, great question. Before you do this, thank you, Tracy, for bringing this up. You can select, I'm going to open this back up. So you can be very selective about which folders you want your client in. So you'll see on this one with Stephanie. So I mean, like she's not in, so she's like not in these technically, I don't think, but yeah, okay. So she's not in these, like I can go ahead and add her into like this whole folder. But if it was not a Stephanie and she's somebody who really likes to like dig through everything, then I would just add them into your, like the address folder. So like they have access to all of this. So you'll see right here where it has like a little person in it. This is the only one she has access to. So if you wanted to add her into this one, I could just be like, I think she might need to be like granted access or something for that. So now that I did that, now she's in it. So that's a great point. If you have like commission invoice, basically what I would do is I would just do a new folder here and I'd probably do it like transaction docs. And then she's not in this, make a subfolder commission invoice. And then do like your disclosures or whatever you want it to do. So she's not seeing those things in there, if that's helpful. I keep repeating all day event that then I add a link to a timeline and portal. That way they have access. Okay, that works. Where's my guide? My buyer's guide, Sean, is that what you're talking about? I'm happy to share it. I wish I could just give you guys like access to like my compass thing and just be like, how does Cate do this? Be like, go for it. You please start a new shared Google folder. Do you guys want me to do that? Show you? I mean, I just kind of showed you a little bit, but like, yes. Okay. So let me go back and share this. Okay. So I'm going to start from here. So this is like the easiest way for me that I've learned is like make a team drive, shared drive, make a clients folder, and then keep, I like to organize them like this. You could totally do it another way. This is just what works well for me. So past clients or after they've closed, archive clients, or if like they're on the fence, but like they've kind of fallen off. So this is kind of set up like business tracker essentially. And then active clients are people who are in contract or listed if they're a seller. So I would go have your clients folder, separate these three, make them different colors if you want to, like I did. Then make two more. So active sellers, active buyers. Go into here. And then basically I'm just right clicking. You guys can't see like what I'm doing, but I'm right clicking, making a new folder. And Corinne, no whack. And my mom wants to buy a house. Again, I'm OCD, so I just like to put it here. Why this is gray is because he's a commercial deal instead of a residential deal. Again, I'm super OCD if you guys don't have to do this stuff. So click on Corinne's, and then you'll see in here, I'm not gonna like go through and make all the subfolders, but you guys will see in Stephanie's, I have more subfolders. So transaction docs, pre-approval, proof of funds too, whatever it is. Our vendor list, which I highly recommend having in your folders, because how many times do we get a text during the day like, oh, can I have the name of your plumber, the name of your painter, the name of this? It's like, how about you go find it yourself? This is like, these are like my vetted people. You call them, you say, you know, Cate, and they'll show up that day. My buyer guide and my resources. So definitely recommend having closing costs. I think that's another question that we oftentimes will get. And they're like little questions of like, what does this closing cost mean when like the lender will send like the initial CD or something like that? I really don't want to be like Siriing that from my car on CarPlay, which I've done before. So put the closing costs in there, put your buyer's guide in there. This way they can always go back and kind of self-soothe, I call it. And then make the address. So whatever they are going into contract on, I probably wouldn't make this property folder until like they've gone into contract or like it's looking good. And then I would do like, you could do a wire confirmation, put a copy of their offer in there, especially if you guys are making the offers like I do and like we've told you to. I think it's something to show off. I'm like, yeah, go for it. Go look at it. Put in the memo and then fully executed contract, nuance to Westchester. If you guys need other things, put that in there. And then if you want to, you can add in a CMA. So I'll send you guys screenshots of like what this is. And then again, as always, make it work for you. I'm going to put this all in a Google Drive, So I'm not going to put any links in the chat because I think it can be confusing. Okay. How do you transfer?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Could you possibly share one of your buyer portal folders, like the real high level with all of your docs, make one up and then share it with us here? Is that asking too much?
No. I can definitely do that. Let me see if like, I want to see if I could just go into here. Because I think if I make it open, then I can just send everybody the link and then you guys can just go in it.
Yeah.
Would that work? Okay, cool. So I'll just do that. I'll make like a mock folder today and then I'll put in like real buyer stuff. This way you guys can like see like what I'm putting in there, but like just use it as an example.
Awesome.
Perfect. Good idea. Thank you. Okay. How do I transfer from active to past? I have tried and it only goes one by one file. I don't think I've had that. I'll put Corinne in there. So I think I just do move to. Go back. Past clients. Move here. Whole folder was moved. So if you move one folder, if you if like you're in here and you move like a subfolder, yeah, it's just going to move the subfolder. So make sure you're back at like this active buyers, like that main hub of them, and then move the whole folder, which should be named as your client's name. All right, good. Okay. Yeah, I can put this all, I can like upload the doc to the CSC thing. Yes, the session is recorded. So I'll put that up today once I have like that mock thing. And then I'm also going to put all the email templates in there. So you guys like know how to prompt it. So it's like easy. I also like, I'll show you, sorry, I know this isn't sharing anymore, but I'm just going to show you one thing really quick from this weekend. Okay. So this is what I sent to this new buyer I got this weekend. So I said, it was so lovely. You guys can see this, right? Yeah. It was so lovely to meet all of you this afternoon. I'll be inviting you into our Google Drive folder, which is what I consider to be similar to a buyer's portal. I have added a resources folder that holds our buyer's guides plus closing cost sheet. You'll also find folders as we visit new towns. Currently, there's one for Chappaqua. So I don't want to like get into like the nitty gritty, but this is like the next step of it is like getting really creative of like what you can put in here. So right now, like I'm in New York, like the inventory isn't the best right now. It's okay. So I took out these clients, like we really didn't like anything we saw, and they're going to be looking at like 2 or 3 towns. So what I came up with in my head is like, okay, well, why don't I just make for now, since in lieu of like a property folder, why don't I just make a town folder and host everything for each of the towns that we're visiting? So I made a Chappaqua folder, put like the guide, a list of all my favorite restaurants, a list of like where to go to check out the schools, what like the different grades are in each of the schools, what the like a map of the whole area. So at least they have that. And then I also made like a link here to just like sold and in contract homes that have sold in the past 6 months so that they could get a feel for what the inventory looks like in a normal spring summer market. So you can really take this as far as you want. And then he took it really well. So he's in the folder. We'll take a look at these homes and let you know which ones we like, just to give you a better sense of what we're looking for. So if you drive these conversations, people are going to follow your systems. I think you can find this in, I don't know who's on from CSC right now, but like, do we have like a deliverables folder underneath my accountability group in the CSC? If not, I feel like we can do that. I'll let you guys know. We do? Okay, perfect. So I'll put it in like the deliverables folder underneath Cate Bauer accountability groups. And it'll just be all in like a doc. So, all right, good. So like when you're also thinking about this customer experience scorecard, it's like, do you maybe need to be prompted on there to like go in, or if it's not you, an admin, to go in and like make these Google Drive folders? Because if you don't make them on the spot, I find like if this is not made within like the first few days of me meeting someone or touring somebody around, it kind of like dulls down what like that great initial experience. Like with these clients, even though I showed them, to be completely honest, like complete shit inventory, they're like, yes, I'm working with Cate. I don't care if these houses were super ugly this weekend. I'm like, okay, because of like my experience. So that's kind of what I would say, to try and get this done within like the first few days, and make a note of that on your scorecard as well, or in your process, wherever you are hosting this. Any questions? I feel like I'm running out of tricks, guys. I'm like, all right, I've showed them my Google folders, showed them everything. Let's see. Yeah, Brad.
Question. Do you use buyer's agreements, and is that included in this process anywhere for you?
Meaning like exclusive buyer agreements?
Yeah.
It's not very common. They are used, but it's really not common in Westchester. I had this question too. If you have that, make sure you're sending that at the beginning. And my tip for that is make a team name, your DocuSign name, and say my admin, even if you don't have one, my admin will be sending over the disclosures.
Perfect.
It again removes you from it. It's like, oh, this is normal. Go sign it. You can't work with anybody else with me. So it's like, just say that you're like, so ours will say the Corinne and Cate team has sent you blank, not Kate Bauer, not Corinne, just the Corinne and Cate team. I don't know who, but someone from that team. And then have those go into obviously like your folders as well. But all good things to note in your buyer experience. I feel like you guys are probably realizing like how much of this, like now with these buyers I just got, for instance, like I'm good. I'm just waiting for inventory to come on, but like most of the work is done at the beginning of like what creates a super luxurious experience for them. Because now when I want to share something with them, I'm like, oh, go check your portal. It's up in the portal. It's up in the portal. It's up in this. They're like, oh, okay. I know where to go. So when you set the stage for them, they are just like, okay. And they'll continue to follow whatever you say, because you've shown to be so organized thus far. Why not believe you?
And can I ask a follow-up question, Cate?
Yeah.
So what I'm running into, or would at least like to get to a place of with my business and working with buyers, is when you run up to maybe some resistance or they're not being responsive, like how does this sync up? And maybe this is a longer answer for some other time, but how does this sync up in, say, your business tracker, and where they line up with nurturing, kind of, over there far to the left, or, more to the right?
Yeah. I mean, if somebody's not being, these are all people who have been super responsive with me, are for sure working with me, and have shown that kind of like reciprocity between one another. And then they get this whole thing. But if they're just like, emailed me once, I don't know. I don't feel like I've had a ton of those people recently since like I've had this system. I don't know if that's because of this. I don't know. But I think that like, I wouldn't go through this whole thing for somebody who like, maybe you just met at an open house and like haven't shown anything, because realistically, like, what are you putting in their folder?
Got it.
So
Yeah.
I think
I'm a little stuck in first gear over here with more leads as opposed to actual buyers.
Right. So, and I would say like the first step for that is like, you will be so surprised. I don't know if Mark is on here. Yes, Mark, you're on here. So do you want to share like how big this has been for like converting? If you can unmute yourself. If not, I can share for him, but yeah. Go ahead.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, but yeah, go for it.
Sorry, I'm mentoring a kid in high school, so I'm at a school right
sorry.
now. You might want to share for me.
Yeah, I'll share for you. So Mark is one of my coaching clients. So we just set up this whole system for him like 3 weeks ago. And he has said how helpful it's been, like really. I think people wanted to work with him before, but like that conversion is like so solid because of the process that he has. So I encourage you to say, like, instead of just saying, oh, let's discuss, I'll keep you on this, keep you on a little drip, whatever it is. It's like, say, here's the process. I'd love, like that initial email template you'll get. I'd love to set up a 1 hour consultation call with you. Here's the buyer questionnaire. I encourage you to fill it out. Let's review it on the call together. And like, there's so much rapport that's built in like that 1 hour meeting, or like the hour before, whenever like that initial call happens. So I would encourage you to do that and see how that works, because I've never had a client. For me, like the moment that Zoom goes on, and honestly, the moment I saw them fill out the buyer questionnaire, I know I'm going to close them, because I know that they're that type of buyer. And they're that type of client, and they've bought into my system. Anybody who's not going to buy into my system, to be completely honest, I don't think I'm going to make money from them. And I'm not trying to sound like an a-hole, but like, we have to be realistic about that. Like, be honest with yourself. Why am I going through this? So try it. Let me know. Go convert some people. And like, even if you have people who kind of feel like they're like dead leads right now, like I definitely send this email and say, hey, would love to catch up with you. Would you mind filling out this buyer question? I'd love to learn more about what you're looking for, so I can really make this as curative an experience as possible. Feel free to set up a 30-minute to an hour meeting with me sometime this week. That's also another thing I always say. I always give them a time deadline subconsciously that they have to meet with me this week. Not let me know when you want to meet. Let me know when you'd like to meet with me this week. Little tips. I read a lot of selling books. That's why. All right, you guys good? So I'll put this all in a Google Doc for you, put all my templates in there so you guys at least have those so you can prompt all your clients, and keep me posted. Let me know. By the way, I haven't even told anybody from CSC yet, but they know I'm going. But I'm in Italy next week, choosing a venue for my wedding. So I will have a guest speaker for me. I don't know who it's going to be. I'll see if I can get the man. Shrug. Maybe.
Where are you looking to get married, Katie? In Italy?
I am looking at 3 places. I'm looking in Tuscany, Lake Maggiore, well, Lake Garda, and Lake Como. So going to be a little bit of a marathon for 4 days, but that's where
There
I'll
are
be.
a couple of castles in Tuscany. They're really cute, really nice.
Yeah,
In a winery, beautiful. I
It's-
went for a wedding there. Very nice.
it's so pretty. It's so pretty. And it's so much cheaper than New York. Seriously. I'm like a quarter of the price, guys. So that's where I'll be. Follow me along on Instagram. I'm sure I'll be posting there. But all right, so keep me posted on how this all goes. Any questions, keep me, in the loop, text me, call me, whatever you need. All right. Talk to you guys. Have a good one.